Welcome everyone to another edition of 15 Minutes of Fame. This is Al Gilbert. I'm the Chief Listening Officer for Advisory Options. Please check out our consulting and advisory services at advisoryoptions.net. As you know, I love listening to interesting people. And today I am inviting one of the great rock stars of corporate travel. I'll share with you something, Miss Susan Lichtenstein. Hold on one second. There we go. The founder of Travel Consultant, and then also the founder or co-founder of Tams, Travel and Meeting Society. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. Hi. Thanks for having me, Al.
Oh, it's always fun. It's always great. 1 second. Get back to my question. Okay, so I always start at the beginning. Where did you grow up, and what were your parents' professions?
So I grew up in Brooklyn, which you could probably tell from my accent. Forget about it. Like I have this great Brooklyn accent, and my father was a plumber, and my mother was the vice president, one of the vice presidents of the Teamsters Union.
Wow.
That's probably where I got this quiet personality from.
Yeah. What college did you attend, and what was your major?
I did a lot of that. So I started out at Pace University in finance, and I swung over to John Jay for criminal law, and then did a little gig in law school, and then decided that wasn't cool. So I went back to finance and started my career in the field of brokerage. So I was a broker. I was a Series 7 broker, commodities broker, and I worked for Chase Manhattan Bank. So that's where I started my career, and then I accidentally tripped into travel.
Well, that was my next question. I guess you didn't know during your college days that you'd be getting into travel. How did that happen?
Yeah, so I was down on Wall Street, doing the gig, and it's fast, it's cool. I always like to think when people tell me how stressful travel is, the industry, I go, okay, what you need to do is go spend a year down on Wall Street, and you come here, it's a picnic, like no stress at all. So I was glad that I cut my teeth there. And then I was moving to Westchester County, which is kind of a suburb of New York, a northern suburb of New York. And a friend of mine said to me, because I was really into like technology, like all the cool things that were starting to happen. And a friend of mine said to me, hey, you should go talk to this company, Prodigy, which is really interesting. They're building this online technology for corporate travel. I had no idea what they were talking about, zero idea, but it was in the area that I was going. And I did talk to somebody there. I don't know why, you know how the universe puts you someplace. And I traveled a lot for Chase at the time. And all I knew is you got this ticket and you went somewhere. Like that's all I knew. So I went and talked to them, and that conversation turned into a conversation with Rosenbluth that turned into a conversation with Hal and Lee. And then I became their project lead for the first online booking tool called Book a Trip, which was so cool through the Prodigy system.
Okay. All right. Well, the rest is history, as we said.
The rest is history.
All right. So you spent 10 years building a travel empire at Cisco. What incentivized you to move from travel management into consulting?
Yeah. So I had a great team, and I spent 10 years building a travel empire at Cisco. But I think for me, I really wanted to move into the business of moving the industry forward. It just seemed like we were at a great tipping point, and I really wanted to take advantage of that for next gen travel, because that's what makes my heart beat. And you need to kind of be outside of the buyer side or of a standard supplier side to kind of get involved. I mean, blockchain and process improvement and direct and not direct and decentralized, and it's just the reason I stayed in corporate travel anyway, right? Because you can do so much and there's so much opportunity. So I just wanted to take advantage of that opportunity.
Okay. And what do you miss, if anything, about being a corporate travel manager?
So I've been on a lot of sites, right? I did a startup called Be There. So that was pretty cool. That excited me. I've been on the supplier side. And then I've been on the buyer side. So first of all, Cisco is a phenomenal company, right? You have lots of opportunity to learn. I love learning. I tell people all the time, take an hour out of your day to learn something, just anything, whether it's personal or professional. It's as important as just taking an hour out of your day to help your body, right? Help your brain. And Cisco gave you that, like they gave you that. So I love that part. what I miss about being a buyer, of course, is the usual stuff you miss about being a buyer, right? People listen to you first, right? People pay attention to you first. And so when I had an opportunity to put a company together to be the bridge between the buyers and the suppliers, that's where I built DigiTravel, to be the bridge between the buyers and the suppliers, since I speak corporate. And I thought, why does the corporate voice matter more than the supplier voice? We should be doing this together. I mean, that's really Tams, right? We should be doing this together.
All right. And the idea of like, I feel your pain, you feel everybody's pain.
I feel everybody's pain. I love
Okay.
it. And I love it. I do.
All right. Well, this next question could take an hour, but
Nah.
if you could collect some investors together and build the ideal corporate travel ecosystem, not travel company, but the ideal corporate ecosystem, what would it look like?
So I think about this a lot. And I think if I had that money, I'd do it. So I think it needs to be more like a marketplace. Truly, I do. But not a marketplace like, you know, just like a screen where everybody's choosing what they want to do. I think it's critical that we're at the point now, and the technology is there or almost there. I'm going to say out there or almost there, where the ecosystem can't be a box anymore, right? It has to have this, especially in this millennial generation that's in the major part of the marketplace. I believe that I would build the perfect, I'm going to take my father's career. I would build the plumbing that allows the traveler to make their decisions based on the experience that they're having. And this plumbing would include everything the corporation needs. And now that's easier said than done, but you can do it today. Like, it's here today. But there's so many pieces being built. Like, some person's building another booking tool. Some, you know, so I said another booking tool. Some people are building like a pipe for this piece. Some people are building a data machine. But I want to build that place, or that pipeline, or the tools, the plumbing, where it's just one place to go and move to the experience of choice. And I think, like retail, like leisure, like anything I do in my life, everything I continue to do is about choice. So you said to me earlier, you know, time, people don't have a long attention span. If you think about your personal life, if I got on an app, any app in the world that I download to my phone, and it takes me more than, let's be generous, Al, 7 to 10 minutes to figure out what the hell I just downloaded, and then I needed to do that again and again, I would never use that again. And yet we live in this world that this is constant. Like, this is constant. So I would like, if I had a magic wand, I would build a marketplace that drives the experience to any channel and delivers back what's important to that company. That's what I would.
Well, I'm with you. I'm on board with you, Susan. I call it the Jerry Seinfeld rule of technology. And that is years ago, when Amazon was just a mere babe in the woods.
Oh, my favorite example. Yeah.
and he was on the Jay Leno show. Leno asked him, "Hey, you buying any books and CDs online?" And Seinfeld says, "Yeah, you know, I tried it, but if I have to click more than twice, I can't be bothered."
Exactly right.
So I think that's what we're coming down to. I'm going to change channels a little bit here. Let's talk about diversity and inclusion in the corporate travel world.
My heart. Yeah, that's my heart.
The travel world and travel industry. What improvements have you seen, and what still needs to be done?
Yeah. So when Tams went, so I'm going to bring us to Tams now. So Tams was built because our world stopped, right? I mean, we know, just horrible things, right? And I was pacing my office saying, boy, it's a good time for us to get together, really get together, buyers and suppliers, and come out with one message, right? We were getting bombarded. Nobody knew what we were doing last March. It's a year now, right? And I put out that LinkedIn email, and 10,000 people said they'd come talk to me. And I was like, whoops. And so that's how Tams got built. And we started with 2 reports. But in July, when we did the 2 reports, they said to me, Susan, we want to keep going. Will you help us keep going? I go, yeah, of course. And now it's this great society, right? 12 committees, great society, and wonderful brainiacs. But the thing I insisted on was the heart. So we do a lot of this. We do a lot of build this, do this, API this, and half the people don't even know what we're talking about sometimes because it's so sporadic, the information, right? It's not in a way that people understand it, right? But when I heard this, when we started building Tams, I said, the thing I insist we do is go with the heart too. We have to have a society, and that heart of Tams is our breakthrough diversity team and our sustainability team, right? Of course, everybody has a heart in Tams, but really the things that make the earth change, the things that make us better people, like let's be better people outside of our brains. And I was planning on doing something and I didn't know how to start. So I was blessed to have this kind of place to go be where I could do this and then find the people to do it, not me. And this is what I learned, Al. I learned that this industry, this, I love the people in this industry, but you go into any meeting or any session when we were live, and it's kind of embarrassing that the lack of diversity that we had. And it was, and when you look at the even, you know, the lot of groups around women, right? A lot of groups around women. And then you see the leadership of the industry was not women for a very long time. Like 85% of the employees are female. And then the rest are leaders that were male. I'm like, what's happening? Like, how is this happening? That's what I'd say a lot of what's happening. And then you look at, you know, things like color and market and culture, and it's tiny. It was tiny. And I was like, this can't be possible. Like, we have to do something, one thing, little baby steps. So Tams, for me, has been a blessing to see these, to do this. Here's what I learned, Noel. You can't fix it. You can't fix people. You can't fix it by yourself. You can't fix it by just saying, oh, we need to do something different, or hiring a chief diversity officer. It's all of the things, right? It's listening, right? I need to listen to people who have a different life than I do to understand what's happening. Because my question always was, what's happening in this industry? Why aren't we doing better? But I wasn't listening, right? I wasn't listening. I've been blessed to listen, and I encourage everybody to listen, because we have who said this? Robert Frost, right? We have miles and miles and miles to go before we touch this.
So let me maybe summarize to what I think I've listened to is that to the question is, you know, what have we accomplished and how much more do we have to go? I think what we've accomplished is that there are more women in the boardroom.
Yes.
And what we still need to do is listen more and listen better.
Yeah, and keep doing what we're doing. Like GBTA just started diversity group. Tams has had so many sessions. I mean, we just had this great panel about it. And let's listen to each other, right? Let's make the effort to listen to each other.
Okay, so you founded Tams as an outcome of the COVID pandemic to help our industry, which you've done a tremendous job. And as we put the pandemic behind us, hopefully, what does Tams deliver that GBTA does not?
That's a heated question now. So
well, and this is not, you know, this is not to make GBTA wrong.
No, of course not. Why would I do that? I am a member of GBTA, so why would I do that? Yeah. So I don't think it's just not the same thing, right? It's completely different. So in the world of Tams, buyers and suppliers are one voice, right? Our leaders are there to remove obstacles. There's no like real hierarchy in Tams. It's truly a grassroots movement. And the output of that has been tremendous. Like we launched an incubator and things like that in a month or 2 months versus a year or 2 years. So we don't have a lot of things in the middle stopping people from doing the next thing they want to do, right? And it's truly, it doesn't matter who you are or what position you have, it's buyers and suppliers together. We're just so focused on that. And every voice matters. And in GBTA, it's much more structured, right? They have, you know, the top of the chain, and then they have all their committees on the side, and then those committees have committees, and then buyers have certain privileges, which I got to tell you, Al, drives me a little crazy. You know, there's a couple of conferences out there that are happening now. So buyers have more voice than the suppliers, and the suppliers pay. Like, I don't get it. Like, why? This is a question I answered with Tams. I asked with Tams, why don't you want both sides at the table? Because all that happens is the buyers complain you don't build what they need. The suppliers keep building what they're guessing at or how to make money on the stuff they don't need. How crazy is that? This is why we're stuck in 1981. So
Well, that
why?
may,
And so that's what I think is different is we don't have that, but I'm sure there's a reason for their structure. I know Suzanne, I love Suzanne. I'm sure she's going to start opening up some of those doors, but we all have to come to a place where it matters that every voice matters, or I just don't think there's going to be that kind of growth opportunity. I don't.
okay. So maybe this is the answer to the question, but the question is, Tams welcomes donations, but does not solicit sponsors. Why is that?
That's not true. Tams asks for, we call them donation sponsorship. We're a 501c3. So we have people who sponsor our webinars. We have people who sponsor things. Here's our difference is a sponsor who's supporting Tams, right? They're supporting Tams,
Right.
doesn't have any say over the content of what happens in Tams. They do it because they like what Tams is doing. They like who we are. And we make that available to them. We're opening our marketplace next week, which will be different. It's like an Amazon marketplace, so that'll be cool. But at the end of the day, no, we welcome donations and we welcome sponsorships, but because you like what Tams is doing, not because you'll have control of the content. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, and last question. If and when you retire, how do you want people to remember you?
Well, I'd like to think I bring a laugh or two to the industry because I enjoy that. So that I have mentored a couple of people in my career, and I think like if you're a family and you have children and you pass it on, I'd like that to continue, that kind of pay it back thing, which is really important to me. But, somebody asked me that question recently and I said, I'd like to be known as the person who just said, what's next all the time? Like, what's next? What are we doing? What's next? And Tams has been, I didn't know this was going to happen 2 years ago, Al. I'm grateful to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm so grateful. I just want to say that. But Tams has become the pinnacle of my career, right? If I walk away today, I am so proud of finally being able to put something together that's diverse and all voices matter. So probably that's what I'd want to be remembered by, that I played a small part in that.
Well, I think you played a large part in that, as you've
Oh,
always.
you're very sweet.
No, as you played a large part in the evolution and the improvement of the travel industry. So we've been speaking with travel expert and rock star Susan Lichtenstein. It's been a pleasure, Susan, and we wish you all the best. And
I'm going to put that in my bio. Thank you. Thank you,
Take care.
Al. I have great respect for you as well. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.